They chase it, fear it, lose sleep over it, and beg God for more of it, yet never stop to ask the deeper question, what if everything we've been taught about wealth is fundamentally wrong? What if money isn't just currency, but a spiritual force designed by God to move, flow, and respond to purpose? This idea sounds dangerous, even controversial, but that's exactly why most people stay stuck. Because here's the uncomfortable truth nobody preaches on Sunday. Believers are praying for financial breakthroughs while operating under a mindset God never authored. They treat money like a paycheck instead of a spiritual assignment. They treat business like survival instead of kingdom strategy. And they try to make money without understanding the very system God created for wealth to flow. No wonder so many feel blocked, frustrated, or left behind. The Bible doesn't describe wealth as something static. It describes it as something that moves. The blessing of the Lord makes rich, Proverbs says, and blessing is movement, direction, alignment. God never intended his people to live in fear, lack, or limitation. He intended them to walk in purpose-driven abundance, an abundance that funds missions, businesses, families, ministries, and generational impact. But to step into that, you must rethink everything you believe about money. If you like our content, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. And today I'm going to show you a biblical perspective on wealth that might stretch you, challenge you, and maybe even upset a few religious assumptions. But it will also set you free. Once you understand how God designed the spiritual flow of abundance, everything in your financial life begins to shift. So let's take the first step into a truth that will change how you see money forever. Money as spiritual energy. What Scripture actually says about the nature of wealth. Money has always been misunderstood because most people only see currency, not the spiritual system behind it. Scripture reveals that wealth operates more like a flowing force than a static possession. Proverbs 10:22 teaches that the blessing of the Lord makes rich, showing that richness is an outcome of divine flow, not human squeezing. When believers limit money to paper and coins, they miss the deeper current God establishes for provision. Business becomes heavier when people detach it from this spiritual reality. In Genesis, when God blessed Abraham, the text doesn't say he handed him coins. It says God prospered him, implying momentum, direction, and increase. Prosperity in the Bible is tied to movement, not storage. Money behaves like water. It flows toward vision, purpose, and wise stewardship. This is why some people make money naturally while others struggle, even with similar opportunities. When someone aligns with God's design, the flow becomes predictable. Think of Joseph in Egypt. He didn't earn wealth. He positioned himself as a steward of divine strategy, and wealth flowed to him. His entire financial system came from interpreting a dream. Pure spiritual insight. That tells us money responds more to revelation than to effort alone. In today's world, the same pattern shows up subtly. Investors who discern cycles, entrepreneurs who sense timing, and believers who follow biblical wisdom often access a flow others can't see. That is not luck. That is spiritual alignment. In practical terms, this means the believer must stop treating money as a passive resource and start seeing it as active energy God entrusts. For example, when someone invests in index funds, real estate, or a business with purpose, they're not just buying assets, they're directing spiritual force toward an outcome. The same applies to giving. Generosity doesn't subtract. It redirects the flow into a divine circuit that returns multiplied, as Luke 6:38 promises. Money moves wherever faith and wisdom point it. A powerful way to grasp this is by looking at Jesus' teaching on the talents. He didn't praise the one who saved money. He honored the ones who multiplied it. Why? Because spiritual energy must move. Stagnation kills the flow. Whether someone is starting a small business, investing a portion of their paycheck, or trying to make money in new ways, the principle is the same. God blesses movement fueled by purpose. Wealth responds to people who respond to God. So, the believer who wants to enter this spiritual current of abundance must begin by acknowledging the nature of money as something God designed to flow, not freeze.